All right, guys, we're starting in progress with the Trump rally today. Then I'll be here for Biden. We will hear from you in between. Let's take a listen.
Support our great police. Defend our borders. Without borders, we don't have a country, do we? Protect our Second Amendment. Protect religious liberty and ensure more products are proudly stamped with those beautiful words, made in the USA. We're starting to do that. You remember I used to say 4 years ago, we're going to bring back the words, Merry Christmas. We did, right? Merry Christmas.
Nothing changed with
Those
that.
big department stores, they like Happy New Year. I said, no, you can say them both, but you can't do one without the other. Merry Christmas is back. You notice that, right? And pretty
Christmas.
soon we're going to be there. Joe Biden will shut down your state's economy, wipe out your factories, ship your jobs to China. To China that's paid them off, by the way. China that's paid them off. You know
Sounds extra slurry
You
today.
don't get too much news, but you get enough. You know what's going on. They don't like giving you the news. Punish your family with a $4 trillion tax hike. Eliminate private health care. 180 million people have private health care. They want to take it away. And send your state into a catastrophic, do you want to use the word recession or depression? Because the word is depression.
Depression.
Biden has vowed to eliminate the entire U.S. oil industry, no fracking, no energy, and gas prices going $5, $6, $7 for a gallon. How do you like $2 gasoline? Good?
Where are you going to go with
There'll
90,000
be no
cases a
heating
day?
in the winter, no air conditioning in the summer, and no electricity, whatever the hell you wanted. Right now, you have it made. You're so lucky. You are so lucky I'm your president.
Oh, my God. He seems particularly altered today.
And your team's doing a good job, right? They're doing a good job, right? They're doing a good job. And while I'm president, America will proudly remain energy independent. How does that sound? First time. You're energy independent. We're the biggest in the world. Nobody close. Biden will deliver poverty, misery, depression. I will deliver jobs, 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 and the greatest economy in the history of our country. That's going to be next year.
Anybody seen stocks lately?
Yesterday it was announced last quarter, our economy grew at the astonishing speed, 33.1%, the largest.
Now, you all know if you lose 31% and gain 33, you're still down 8.23%. Fact check me. Do the math, guys.
It was in 1952, but more than double. Think of it. It's never been anything like that for any country, not only ours, for any country. In the past 5 months, we've created a record 11.4 million
great, right?
American jobs. We have a super V. I used to talk about the V. This is no longer a V. This is a super V. This is despite the fact that the Democrat governors have states shut down, right? Gee, does that sound familiar to you? Middle-class family income is up more than $6,000 under my administration, far greater than the past administration. I mean, that was not up. That was doing very poorly. We created the greatest economy in history, and now we're doing it again. Make America great again. We did it once.
It's like extra pathetically dishonest today.
Obsolete. It's called Make America Great Again. In a very recent poll, Gallup, they said 56% of Americans said they were doing better today than they were 4 years ago. And we're rounding the turn on a pandemic, and it's 56, and it's the highest number they've ever recorded. So we're doing something right. Joe Biden spent the last 47 years outsourcing your jobs, opening your borders, and sacrificing American blood and treasure in endless foreign wars in countries that most of you have never even heard of.
Right.
I mean, think of it. And you know, at the debate, did anybody see the debate by any chance? So during the debate, he'd say, well, we're going to do this. I said, Joe, why didn't you do it? We're going to do that. We're going to do this and that, this and that.
Same question applies
Joe,
to Trump. He's
Joe,
promising a tax cut, a wall.
91% to
Do it.
9%, they said. That was good. That's like a great football game. No, I said, but Joe, why didn't you do it? Well, I don't know exactly. And then the last question was a disaster. Basically, he said, no more oil, no more.
I am keeping an eye on the Biden streams as well because we don't want to miss that.
And I just said, we just left a great place. You know that. It was a little cold there. You know, this is like warm by comparison.
More complaints about the weather.
This is a pleasure. This is a pleasure.
How many people at the rally will end up in the hospital tonight, huh?
I said, let's cut this a little bit shorter. But we have a big crowd. You know, we had a big crowd no matter where we go. We have these massive crowds. And I'm going up to Minnesota. We're going to Minnesota, which we have a chance, not since 1972, think of it. So
he's not going to win Minnesota.
Odds that aren't good, but they like us up there with the Iron Range, all the things I've done for them up there and helping them when the rioters and anarchists attacked. We took over and we did a great
Anarchists.
job. But they should have called us 2 weeks earlier, in all fairness. So if they called us, federal government, if they called us 2 weeks earlier, that would have been nice, you know? You would have had no problem. It took us about, 25 minutes to solve the problem, right? Boom. They just marched down. But we're going, and the governor just informed us, though, that, so we have 25,000 people. 25,000 people. That's a lot. You got a lot here. 25,000 people in Minnesota.
These numbers are always lies. Like a couple days ago, Trump said, wow, 29,000 people. There were 6,000 people. It's always a lie.
We're going to go. We're going to go. Be a very interesting trip. Even if we see 250 people, can I be honest with you? Everybody understands. You can't play those games. That could very well, aside from Omar, Omar's our secret weapon. Ilhan Omar, that's our secret weapon in Minnesota.
This again.
You know, she doesn't love our country, you know?
Country.
I don't like people that don't love our country, I don't. And the other, and you know all about this because you've had your things. The others, we want law and order. We got to have law and order. You look at what's going on in Philadelphia, you can't have that. You have to let the police do what they do. I mean, they have to do their job.
Right.
When I watch that, again, Democrats, it's all Democrats. When I watch that, and people are looting stores, and you have the anarchists, the rioters, but they're looting stores, they're walking out with dishwashers. They're walking out, guy has a dishwasher, he couldn't even, he's pushing it.
Dishwashers.
I mean, they have television sets, and they're walking, and the police are standing there, and those police don't want to be standing there. They don't want to do that. They want to be able to do their job, but they're not. And you can't have that. We need law and order, as we had right here. As we did a very good job.
Trump big on law and order and due process. He would never, for example, ask his attorney general to prosecute someone who hadn't even been charged with a crime or investigated for one, like Joe Biden. Trump would never. He's all about law and order, due process, the Constitution.
During one of the debates, I said, Joe, who endorsed you from law enforcement? And he couldn't answer the question. Now, that's possibly that happened, but he's got a very bad memory, too. He can't. He was going, let me think. Give me about 20 minutes. I'll figure it out. I doubt he has any. I think we have everybody. We have everybody. Florida, Texas, Oklahoma. Chicago endorsed us. Isn't that nice? Chicago.
The city endorsed Trump. Yeah, there you go.
With all the problems they have, and they have a great group of people from law enforcement. They could stop those problems. I mean, you see what's going on there. New York has gone through the roof. New York's finest. We have New York's finest. These are incredible police. They could do the job, but they have to be allowed to do the job. And they endorsed me. First time in the history of the police force in New York that they endorsed a presidential candidate. So it was pretty cool.
Now, I'm not exactly familiar with what happened in New York, but very often when Trump says the local police department endorsed him, it's often some sub-off group of people. It's not like the police union. Now, I don't know exactly in New York City, but very often he's just lying. It'll be like, unaffiliated, independent law enforcement. It's sort of like if Trumpist police officers from a city just have a little club and the club endorses Trump, understand that very often that's the lie.
Manufacturing jobs.
Booster groups, exactly.
Biden betrayed American workers and twisted his knife into the back of Wisconsin workers. You suffered as much as anybody. Biden's also spent half a century betraying
Essentially.
black Americans.
Essentially a century.
He devastated black families with the 1994 crime bill, and he called black youth super predators, a term that's a terrible term.
Right.
Super predators over and over again.
Trump would never say it.
And then he wonders why they're not doing well with the black vote. You know, the black vote's not turning out for him. See, now we don't have to go by the fake poll.
Record black turnout, a 92% early seems to be supporting Joe Biden. Those are the facts. Not that anybody cares.
They remember 1994, and they remember him calling everybody a super predator. And that's a term that they don't like. That's
Super
a term
predator.
that nobody would like. But they're not showing up to vote, and others aren't either. You know, we're doing great in Florida. We're doing great in Ohio. We're doing great in North Carolina. It was fantastic. I think we're doing really good in Pennsylvania.
Sir, I don't know about that.
I think we're doing good all over the place. You want to know that, Charlie? I think we're doing good all over. We're doing great here. You know, I think they just said here we're either tied or one up, or tied or one down. You know, it's like essentially tied. I don't know how the hell I can be tied with this guy. He's shot. I said, sir, you're tied in Wisconsin. You know, normally that means, because we have like a hidden voter, people that don't want to talk about it, they just go out and vote for Trump. I never knew. Should I be complimented by that? We don't want to talk about it. Leave us alone.
Just more lies.
Trump, right? So when you're tied, that's a good thing. But they said, sir, we're tied. And I said, that's interesting. And then the fake Washington Post, ABC, right? Did you see that? So we are tied. I was up here 2 days ago. We gave a great speech. That was a cold one. We gave a speech at a racetrack. We got a lot of people, and it was freezing, but I got through that. There was no way that I leave early on the great people of Wisconsin, because you don't know about that. There was no way. Anyway, this poll, so we're tied. Let's say we're tied. One up, one down. We're right, boom, very close. I think we're going to take it easily, actually. I think we're going to take it because we're going to have a turnout probably on Tuesday. You know, our people like to vote. They like to vote on Tuesday, not even on Sunday or Monday. So Washington Post and ABC.
Washington Post.
Washington Post, ABC poll. They come out 17 down. Donald Trump is 17 down in Wisconsin. I said, wait a minute. I just left the crowd of 25,000.
So listen, I don't think Biden's up 17, but I don't think Biden's up 1. I think he's up probably about 6.4, like the average.
That was not
says.
A second place crowd. And they did it to me 4 years ago with Crooked Hillary. They had me, he's down 12 2 weeks ago, remember? Washington Post, ABC,
4 days
crooked
now.
as hell. It's called suppression polls. You know what it does? It suppresses the vote. You get depressed. You like Trump. You know, I like the president, but let's, and in the case 4 years ago, I like Donald Trump. He's going to do a good job. We did more than we said we were going to do. We did more than any administration has ever done in the first 3.5 years. But it's a suppression thing. So they came out 12 down. We actually wrote them legal letters and everything, and then they changed the vote.
Completely legal letter.
Well, we were 1 down. But that was the day before the election. 2 weeks ago, 12 down. But this one was 17 down in your state. And
Crowd loves it when Trump rattles off numbers.
I could be 3 down. I could also be 3 up.
Crowd got so bored they started chanting. They started their own chant.
I could be 3 down. I could be 4 down. I could also be 3 up or 4 up. One thing I know, I'm not 17 down. So I called up the best pollster, a guy, doesn't matter. Let's just call him John. His first name's John. I said, John, can I ask you a question? I just left Wisconsin. We had a tremendous crowd. It was like a love fest. And then I wake up, like 2 days later, and I see a poll. Washington Post, it's all over the place. You know, they love it, all the fake news. Look at all of them back. They're fake. Among the most dishonest people in the world. Now they have a new thing. They don't report. They don't report on, criminality like with the Biden crime family. They don't want to report.
It's really a disservice to the American people that it's not 24-hour coverage of Hunter Biden flying 3,000 miles drunk across the country to have 3 laptops repaired by a blind guy who couldn't see Hunter, but is sure because of a Beau Biden sticker that it really was Hunter. And then when Hunter didn't pick up the laptops across the country, instead of trying to get him back to Hunter, he read his private emails, copied the hard drive, gave it to the FBI, waited 7 months, and then said, you know what? I don't know where this guy is. Even though I'm blind, I know it was Hunter because of a sticker. I'm going to go and call Rudy Giuliani. And then when Tucker Carlson was going to report on it, his homework was eaten by a dog. It was lost. A USB drive was lost in the mail, and UPS completed an investigation in 24 hours. But then now that they have the USB drive back, Tucker Carlson says it's probably time to move on from Hunter Biden. That's the story that the corrupt fake news media won't talk to you about.
Polls. And he said the only way they really can do it, they have to make it so that the people here think you're 17 down and they don't go and vote because they say it's hopeless. 5 down, 4 down, 3 down means, gee, he has a chance. 17 down means, darling, let's go to dinner. Let's have a wonderful dinner. And then we'll come home and watch the president lose. But we're not going to lose. We're going to win. We're going to win. True story. Isn't that some story? Isn't that sad? And he knows the people. He said, no, this is the way they do it. They're very... And then they came with another state where I was 10 down that I'm going to actually win the state. Said,
crowd's checked out. They don't know what's going on.
Dishonesty in polling, but not only polling. I mean, the stories. And now there's something that happened. We call it freedom of the press, right? This is the opposite.
Then Melania said, sir, I have Corvid.
It's now suppression of the press because now they have stories and they don't want to have... You cannot get a story out on Biden criminality. We have the laptop from hell.
What crime?
We have the worst things anyone's ever seen, and they just won't write about it, and that includes big tech. So you know what I'm doing? Here's who I'm facing: a corrupt Democrat.
An invisible accordion is what he's
my
facing.
Campaign, and we caught him. They spied on the campaign.
Law and order, lock people up with no due process or even an indictment.
Thank you. See, I never do anything to just, to like encourage it because they say,
right.
He led the chant, lock him up, lock him up. He led the chant against crooked Hillary. All she did was get rid of 33,000 emails when she got
crooked Hillary.
Congress. She deleted them, she acid washed them.
Bleached them.
And then she took a hammer to her telephones and she beat the hell out of the phone. I've gotten rid of a lot of phones. I've never hit them with a hammer. Has anybody hit the phone with a hammer? I don't know. Well,
the phones didn't stand a chance, my friends.
It was a strange event, Ron.
In Hillary's defense, it was a mallet.
Well, you throw it out, right? You throw out your phone. You start all over again. No, we got a corrupt bunch of people. But think of it. I'm all up here alone. Think of this.
All by himself.
I have the Democrats. They impeached me for making a phone call.
I make
a phone call to a man I never met, the new president of Ukraine. Congratulations.
Perfect phone call. Perfect.
Everybody said it. 297 to nothing in the House, the Republicans voted, right? It's like this perfect phone call. Congratulate. Everyone's telling me, please call him. He just won. Oh, do I have, I'm busy, right? And I say, okay, I'll call him. Get the president, nice guy. Congratulations, blah, blah, blah. By the way, if you see any crime, because we're supposed to have a crime, because it's a lot of corruption.
Yeah.
Please report it to the Attorney General of the United States. Oh, we should impeach him. I got impeached over a perfect phone call. But they didn't know we had the call essentially recorded. Thank goodness we had it.
It was essentially recorded.
Stories, right? They died when
they
heard
impeached
we had
him.
it transcribed by very professional people. They died. Because it had already been way down the track by the time they found
the transcribers were killed.
Called up. We said, do you mind if we put your phone call on public record? They said, why would that be? It was just a congratulatory call. I said, well, you'll find out. These are bad people. So here's what we have. We have the Democrats. Now we have big tech. Now we also...
What percentage of people in the crowd do you think have any idea what he's talking about?
And most of the rhinos I beat because, they were all representing one of the 17 because we had 18 running. but they were most of whom I get along with. Some of them I don't like. I could tell you the
1.5% nobody.
But I beat all of these guys.
Somewhere in there,
and they end up being rhinos and bad people. And here we are, and we're president. I think we're going to have something that's even better than what we did 4 years ago. I really believe that.
God, I hope so. I hope he's right about that.
Because you don't have crowds like this and be on the losing stick. You know, you leave here and you say, gee, that doesn't sound like a second place. You can't even see the end of the crowd. That doesn't look like a second place finisher. So when you hear about suppression, you have some very nice people up there, about 2 of them. But when you hear about, that's right. I know every one of them. Some of them are great, actually. But we're going to have a big victory, and this election is the most important election of our lifetime.
That's
this
true.
Is a more important
That's absolutely true.
Than the last one, and I never thought I'd say it, because they have gone so far radical left, and we have to make this final step, and we're going to be normalizing our country, really normalizing our country.
Feels super normal right now, doesn't it?
And you know what else normalizes its success? I'll tell you, before the plague came in from China, they should have never let it happen. But before the plague came in from China, I was getting calls from people that you would least expect.
They said, sir,
we had the best numbers, the best employment, the best everything, the stock market all-time high, everything was the best. And they were like, let's talk. And it was happening. And then we got hit with the plague. Success brings this country together. And we're going to have...
Yeah.
We're going to have success.
Trump thinks that despite never having had a 50% approval rating at any time in his presidency, we were all super united right before the coronavirus.
Some guy gets in that wants to quadruple your taxes, which he wants to do. He's the only guy I've ever seen. We will raise your taxes. All my life, I've seen politicians say we're going to cut your taxes. He's the only guy ever campaigning on he's going to increase your taxes. In 2016, Wisconsin voted to fire this corrupt political establishment, and you elected an outsider as president who is finally putting America first. If I don't sound like a typical politician, it's because I'm not a politician, if that's okay. And
is it the same speech every day with the town names changed?
The Washington establishment. It's because I was elected to fight for you, and I fight harder for you than any president at any time in the history of our country.
Talk about cult of personality.
That's a chant that has never been heard politically. Nobody's ever,
right.
Even these people, there's never been a time. We like
because
Ronald
it's a cult.
Reagan, we like people, but they've never had that chant, so it's an honor. Don't keep it going too long because I'll start to cry. I'll go to live. And we can't tell President Xi of China that the president was crying because he said
like Qi Gong,
him, right?
President Xi.
And the fake news would report it. President Trump broke down in tears as they shouted. Somehow it doesn't work for us, right? We can't do that, right? Look at him. He goes, no way, you can't do it. No, we appreciate it. It's a chant that nobody's ever heard before.
For good reason.
It started happening like 6 weeks ago, and I said, man, that's very unusual. And it's a beautiful chant, and I appreciate it.
Very unusual.
I'm not
chant.
just running against sleepy Joe Biden. I'm running against the left-wing media, the big tech giants, and the Washington swamp, and it's deep and vicious. And they can't believe what's happening. They can't believe it. They would have taken most people out. Almost anybody would have been taken out. And I have been helped a lot by that man right there named Ron Johnson. I have.
Corbett. Didn't he have Corbett also?
He's a smart guy. And I knew it earlier than anybody else. I knew it. I had a meeting with Ron Johnson, and we were going over a very complex tax. Most people had no idea what we were even talking about. He understood it so good. I mean, he really understood.
He understood good. Very good,
again.
Understood.
Don't lose him. Don't ever lose him. You need to show up in record numbers and deliver a blistering defeat to these corrupt forces, and they are corrupt as hell. They're trying to take over our country, and we caught them. They're coming for your guns. They're coming for your jobs.
No, they're
And they're
not.
coming for your freedom. If you think about it. Your vote will stop them on November 3rd. Get out there. You got to vote. It's the most important issue. One of the most truly important issues. It's, you don't like to even mention it, but is law and order. And I mentioned that to Biden during one of the debates. I said, hey, Joe, say the words law and order. Can you do it? He wouldn't do it.
He said law, order,
He didn't
and
want to lose
justice,
the
actually.
radical left. He didn't want to lose them.
He said
Joe
it.
Biden and his party have spent the entire year inciting violence and hatred against our police officers. And he refuses to say you got to stop it. You cannot run through Portland and destroy the city. I mean, it's been going on. We could stop it in 30 minutes. You know, in Seattle, I said, I don't care. We waited and waited. The governor never called. We waited. I said, you got to go. And they took over a part of the city. I mean, this is even, to even talk about this, who would think of this, Seattle? And we were going in, and we told them, we're coming in the morning. And you know what they did that evening? They raised their hand and they left. That was the end of it. And a lot of people are paying a big price, by the way. But they raised their hands and they left. Or the statues. We signed a law. You knock down statues. They were knocking down statues all over the country. You knock down statues, you go to jail for 10 years. It's an old law.
Oh, boy.
It's amazing how we haven't seen too much trouble with statues. There were groups that formed. They wanted to do it. They wanted, and then they said, let's get that out of here.
Statues.
10 years. It says 10 years in prison. Old law that we reenacted. You could never get that passed today.
And then how about health care?
Group Nancy Pelosi and crying Chuck Schumer. Crying Chuck Schumer and Nancy would never pass anything like that. They'd say, no, you're allowed to rip down anything you want. You know, we have a D.C. mayor that set up a commission, right, to talk about all of the things, cancel culture, let's talk about. They don't like the Washington Monument. They want it renamed or taken down.
Big cancel culture conference.
Don't worry about it. We're not doing, I promise you. They don't like the Thomas Jefferson Memorial because they don't like it. They don't even know why. Tell me why. And they don't like even the Lincoln Memorial, right? They don't like the Lincoln. So they wanted recommendations to change the name or take them down. And I said, I think this commission should be immediately disbanded because it's not going anywhere. But they are. I mean, this is a fact. Take down the Washington Monument. These people are stone cold crazy. You have to go out and you have to vote. Biden stands with the rioters and looters, and Biden wouldn't say anything about the report. They asked him about the report. He didn't want to comment. I have no comment. Do you want to take down the Washington Monument, sir? I have no comment on that. He has no clue. He never had much of a clue. Now we know I stand with the heroes of law enforcement. These are great people, and we have to help them. If Biden wins, the rioters and the streets, they'll be running your federal government. They'll be running your government.
Right. Random rioters will be governors, senators, yeah.
The Biden-Harris, how about Harris? Kamala.
It's Kamala.
Kamala. And you have to say her name right or she gets very upset, right?
Well, you're not saying it right.
Even though she doesn't say it right, you know. But the Biden-Harris plan would end cash bail, releasing 400,000 dangerous criminals immediately onto your streets. Murderers and rapists. This is what's going on is crazy. When the violent mob
It's crazy.
came to a place known as Kenosha. Did you ever hear of Kenosha? Because I did. Remember what I did? If I didn't activate immediately, Kenosha would not be there any longer. They were going to take it down. Biden opposed sending in the National Guard, and I insisted on it. And I frankly wish the governor asked me sooner. But at least he asked me. But we came in, and that was over in about another 15 minutes, right? That didn't take long. That didn't take long.
The theme is Trump doesn't spend more than 10 or 15 minutes on anything.
Still have Kenosha. They knocked down, they burned a couple of buildings down. I met with the people, and really good people. One was there 100 years, a photography store. It was 100 years. They burned down the store, but it's going to get rebuilt. But we stopped it. That whole area would have been burned to the ground. So we came in, and it was so easy, too. It's easy. But you sometimes have to meet force with force. You can't just stand back, sit back, and watch it take place. Like they did in Minneapolis. And then we went in, and it took place very quickly. Like, usually if it takes like more than a half an hour to wipe the whole thing out, I say, you're not doing a very good job. Biden's running mate, the most liberal senator in America, even urged their supporters to donate to a fund that bailed out the rioters, took them right out of jail, including a cop killer or an attempted cop killer. Biden wants to lock down your homes. He's ready to lock it down. I mean, you guys are already in a lockdown, so you might not notice it as much. Hey, Governor, you got to open up your state here. You got to open it up. Got to open up your state. Got to open it up. You know, it's sad. It's sad. You got to go back. You understand? You're going to socially distance. You're going to do all the things you want to do, but I mean, we're having these outdoor rallies. It's they say outdoor. Normally we'd go into an arena. I actually like this stuff better, although sometimes it's snowing and sleet. I loved that last stop, but it was, the rain was pouring like sideways. It was going, that stuff. That's when you say, I love the indoor arenas, but I like these. With a day like this, it's so beautiful. It's great. Is there any place better to be than a Trump rally, though, seriously? It's great.
Colonoscopy, maybe?
But this election is a choice between a Trump super boom or a Biden depression. That's what it is. And it's also between opening up and keeping it closed. You see what's happening in Europe? They're trying it again. They're going to close up. They closed up and they destroyed their economy. Our economy is so much better, so much stronger.
Interestingly, unemployment remained lower in Europe than in the United States, and they're only getting into wave 2 now. We're already into, peak 3 at least. Don't call it a wave, call it a spike anyway, number 3.
Or a devastating lockdown. That's what Biden wants to do because he has no choice. He will not call the shots. He will not call the shots. And everybody knows it. Thanks to our historic campaign to slash red tape and mobilize industry, we will deliver a safe vaccine to the American people in literally over the next few weeks.
Imagine, given what's going on 4 days before the election, campaigning on cutting red tape. I mean, it's you would almost wonder if Trump's even sane.
This happened before the election, so let me tell you. If Biden was in charge of this vaccine, just like the swine flu, he was in charge of H1N1, right, which he can never get right. He can't remember it. It's always messed up. Sometimes he does N1H1. I say, no. But it's the swine flu. I said, just call it the swine flu. It's easier, right? It's the same thing. Call it the swine flu. It was a catastrophe. And his own chief of staff said it was the dumbest run thing they've ever done. And the lethality is much less than what this was and is and was. And sort of was because we have therapeutics now that are incredible. In fact, here I am. I'm here. Right?
He got Regeneron, which is the name of a company, not a medication.
They gave me a shot. Regeneron, it's called.
There it is.
Others, Eli Lilly now have the antibody stuff. And I like to say it had no impact, but I wasn't feeling good.
Antibody.
Like because of my physical power, my strength, my young age. I made the case. CNN got very angry. I said, I'm not concerned. No, I said when I got better quick.
Superman. Oh, my God.
CNN got very angry. Fake news. CNN is totally fake. I said, no, I beat it because I'm in perfect physical shape and I'm a very young person. Well, our first lady got it. It got better.
She said, sir, I have a stuffy nose.
We didn't even know. We said, the doctor said, sir, Barron has tested positive. I said, for what? And he's very young and very tall. He's seriously tall. And he's a good kid, but he's a strong kid, but he's a kid. And
he is a kid. That's true. That's true.
Dr. Sean, he's great. He's a fantastic White House physician. And he said, Barron tested positive. I said, for what? He said, for COVID. There's like 30 different names. I happen to...
Sir, he's tested positive for the China plague.
It's more accurate, right? And about 14 minutes later, I said, how's Barron doing? Oh, he's recovered fully. I said, Barron, were you feeling bad? I didn't know anything, Dad. I didn't. What was wrong, Dad? No, they have a very strong. By the way, speaking of that, get back to school. Get back to school. Okay? Get back to school. Right? Look at Ron saying agrees. Seniors will be the first in line to get it, and we're making it available free because it's not your fault that this
Something that doesn't yet exist is free to everybody.
With or without the vaccine, we're rounding the turn, but the vaccine makes it go faster. The vaccines are going to be out very soon, very, very soon. Our vaccine will eradicate the virus, end the pandemic, quickly restore normal life. I just want normal life. You do too. All we want is normal life. I'm looking up to the sky. A friend of mine said, you know, you're the most famous man in the world. I said, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, he said, no, who's more famous than you? You are the most famous man in the world.
What a speech.
What are you talking about? Who's more famous? I said, Jesus Christ.
Oh, my God. It's pandering plus narcissism squared.
And I don't want to take any chances. So I looked up and I said, and it's not even close.
Trump's religious guys, remember?
But next year will be the greatest economic year in the history of our country. Joe Biden's plan will delay the vaccine, postpone therapies, crash the economy, and lock down the entire country. He doesn't mind locking down the country. The country could not stand it. You know, we locked it down shortly. We did it. We figured it out. We protect our elderly people, etc. But he thinks it's fine. He loves that whole deal. I'll tell you, all he talks about is COVID. He gets up today, he's talking COVID, 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 COVID. And the truth is, we have done an incredible job with our ventilators, the vaccines, the therapeutics.
Look at how great we've done.
But all he does, because he's got nothing else he can talk about, because no administration in the history of our country has done what we've done. I say it all the times in the first 3.5 years, what we've done with tax cuts and regulation cuts and rebuilding our military, which was totally depleted and a disaster. What we've done with our military and so many other things, you know them all. Nobody's done, and they never even question me. You know, the fake news with all the cameras, it's never like where they come, oh, you shouldn't have said that. Nobody's done. And you think of it, Space Force. We could name, right? We could name so many different things. Under the Biden
I mean, it's like,
lockdown,
you know, this is going on, but Space Force, guys.
Drug overdoses, deferred medical care, and you'll have no school, no graduations, no weddings, no Thanksgiving, no Christmas, no 4th of July, no future. Other than that, he's doing a fantastic job. Biden wants to keep everyone locked up, even young Americans who are extremely low risk, like we talked about. He wants to steal the dreams and the future of our young people. You know, one thing we've learned, the computers are great and the laptops, everything's great. And for telehealth, it's been great, where people can say,
Laptops.
it's really been, I think it's up like 7,000% or something, and it's a great thing. But, you know, for school learning, it's terrible. It doesn't work. It can't compare to a class or a campus. They're trying so hard to say, oh, gee, this is wonderful. It doesn't compare, and it's well documented. You're taking a large percentage of a young life out of play, and it's a terrible thing you're doing to young kids. And it's a terrible thing that's happening with the parents, too, because the kids at school and the parents are working. Now the parents don't know what to do. Many of their jobs are gone anyway. Now you got to open up your state. You got to do it fast. You got to do it fast. Thanks to our relentless efforts, only 3% of the emergency room visits nationwide are related to the virus. Think of that, 3%. Because you know what it is? They only talk about cases.
Understand how meaningless that is. What Trump is saying is there's lots of other reasons people also go to the emergency room.
We test more than any country in the world by far. We have the best tests. These are things that we never even had 6 months ago. Now, if I said, let's cut the testing down in half, you'd have half. Everyone would say, oh, the cases are way down, right? But you know what? It's good because we know if there's a problem, et cetera, et cetera. We know if there's a hot spot. But that's exactly what it is. I mean, but what we do and what we've done so
testing
well are the therapies. And if you think of it, the fatality rate is down 85% and more now. Think of that. But they talk about cases because, you know, when you hear 3% of the emergency rooms are devoted, you know, it's supposed to be 100% and the hospitals are going to close. They don't know what's going on. It's been amazing what we've been able to do. But you don't hear them talking about death. You hear them talking about, because as a percentage, what we've done compared to other countries is incredible. And now, especially with the explosion that you see taking place over in Europe. So we've done a great job, and I'll tell you what, our vice president's been fantastic. And you compare vice presidents, and if you don't mind, I'll take the one we have, okay? You talk about a victory at a debate. That was one of the greatest victories at a debate I've ever seen.
What is he talking about?
That one wasn't even close. Our excess mortality rate is 42% lower than Europe's. Think of that, where cases are now surging despite very powerful lockdowns that they've had very powerful lockdowns.
I think they started 3 days ago.
I want to just show you something on a screen. Okay?
Oh, no.
Very special people get this. We have a video on our fight against the China virus and a couple of other quick things. Again, we only do this for extremely important states and people. Go ahead.
So Trump now cutting to a video. If you're joining us, we are here in who the hell knows where, Green Bay, Wisconsin, with Donald Trump. Donald Trump scheduled to then, after this rally, go to Rochester, Minnesota. And then we are also standing by for a Joe Biden event scheduled for about 10 minutes ago. If any of you guys are monitoring it, I'm doing my best to check in. Let me know if Joe Biden actually comes to the stage. I have so many other things for you guys, and we'll get back to this rally momentarily. I was going to fill out a map for my prediction if the election were today. I was going to deal with the Jesse Lee Peterson homosexuality thing. I wanted to look at early voting data already in Texas. More people than the total turnout of 2016 have voted. I wanted to play a little bit of my interview that I did with the great Jaime Camil in Spanish, who is, of course, from such shows as Jane the Virgin and others. Did an interview with him for the Spanish show, and I've got a little clip of him doing an Argentinian accent. There's just so many different things that I wanted to do today, and hopefully we will get some time between rallies, but still waiting for Joe Biden. Phone lines. So I'm just going right to what we did yesterday. We're including website memberships and Twitch subs, but we have a goal of 125. I will do phones if we get there. So grab a membership at joinpacman.com. So far, 5 people have, 8 people have grabbed Twitch subs. So it sort of puts us at 13, I guess. And then we'll do phones at some point in between rallies or after or whatever. We've only got a few days left, so I want to make sure to cover as much of this stuff as we can. So let's get back to this bizarre video, and I will keep an eye on everything that is happening here.
Trade relations with China, which forced American workers to compete against people who are making pennies an hour, has resulted in the loss of 160,000 jobs.
The president is absolutely right when he says that China has been cheating for 25 years and that Bill Clinton didn't do enough about it, George W. Bush didn't do enough about it, Barack Obama didn't do enough about it.
The rising China is an incredibly positive development for not only China, but the United States and the rest of the world. Rising China is a positive development. It is in our self-interest that China continue to prosper. We want to see China rise. China's a great nation, and we should hope for the continued expansion.
China is not our enemy.
We talk about China as our competitor. We should be helping. The idea that China is going to eat our lunch is bizarre. The idea that they are our competition, they're going to beat us.
This is really bizarre. I mean, the fact that this is even happening is weird. Maybe I'll just read a few super chats until the video's over. Unknown Prodigy says, David, I'll record the Trump video from the rally and send it to you so you won't miss it. Oh, that's okay. I don't need to see it. The Swift Falcon says, comparing himself to Jesus, this is next level humble bragging. What else do we have? Does Jesus Trump sound drunk? He sounds exhausted for sure. Hat Mumfrey says it's very concerning how many Christians have fallen for this guy. It's a very serious problem. Very, very concerning. I completely agree with you. Completely agree with you. Dan says Trump blames Biden for division, mental stability, and foreign financing. Does his criticism of others ever not reflect his own projection? Constantly. Pear from Sweden asking why Trump wears children's gloves. Yeah, those are really small gloves, but they actually seem too small for Trump's small hands. Like, Trump's hands are small, but the gloves seem even too small. It's kind of weird.
Barrett, I think today.
That was terrifying.
What kind of country we're going to be? 4 more years of Georgia, he's going to find ourselves in a position where if Trump gets elected, we're going to be in a different world.
Uh-huh. Wow, okay.
You know, I like that because I save a lot of words. You could never duplicate what you see up there. But you see the governors, and then they'll say, although some of them have been actually very good, but we've done a great job. And you see it there, and that's what their real feeling is. But when they get up to a mic, well, I don't know if he's done that good. No, we've done a great job. If you want a vaccine to kill the virus, a job to support
Now we're back on the prompter.
and freedom to live your life to the fullest, you have to vote Republican. It's so important. You have to vote Republican. So we're joined today with some really great people, and a man that's right at the top of that list for me is Senator Ron Johnson.
Horrible person. Truly vile.
I'm telling you, you're lucky you have him. He's a fantastic man, and he's done an incredible job, and he's got a lot of courage, too. And in Washington, he's respected by everybody. Also, Congressman Glenn Grothman. Glenn? Good, Glenn. Thank you, Glenn. And Mike Gallagher. Mike. Thanks, Mike. Great job. Great guys. And somebody that's done a really good job for us, GOP Chairman Andrew Hitt. Thank you. Thank you, Andrew. How we doing, Andrew? Because we're not going to
Doing great, sir.
So damn fast. You'll be out of here, Andrew. No, I think we're doing great. Yeah, I think we're doing great. I also want to thank a legendary champion and a Green Bay Packer personified, Hall of Famer Brett Favre, for his endorsement.
Horrifying.
You know, he's a tough guy. He's great. But 2 days ago, I saw that he endorsed me, and I just want to thank him. He's a hell of a champion. He's a great champion. I look at some of his records. You don't even realize it, but when you look at passing yards and touchdowns, and
right.
One thing about him, tough as hell and great and really talented. So I want to thank Brett Favre. Thank you very much.
Okay.
For decades, our politicians spent trillions of dollars rebuilding foreign nations. Now we are rebuilding, if it's okay with you, our nation. I ended the NAFTA nightmare and replaced it with the brand new USMCA. Wisconsin dairy farmers were decimated under the Obama and Biden plan. Just think about it. I only ran because of them. I said that during the debate, too. I said, Joe, never thought of this. I ran because of you people, because you did such a bad job.
Right.
He had no response to that. With the USMCA, our dairy exports to Canada are expected to surge by more than 100%, okay? Just went into effect. And we're not going to be losing our companies to Mexico and Canada. We're not going to have our companies close up and get rid of everybody, fire everybody, and move and do the same product in Mexico. You saw that it's probably the number one reason I ran. I couldn't stand watching it. And it's going to be, now they're going to pay a tremendous economic price if they do that. Joe Biden is a corrupt politician.
Oh.
They took millions of dollars from the Chinese Communist Party while Vice President Biden shipped your jobs to China. How the hell can he negotiate with China with the money they take? And the news, they don't want to cover it. The fake media, the lamestream media, and the companies, right? These wonderful companies that obviously don't love our country. It's suppression. They don't want to cover it. If Biden wins, China wins. His son walks in, takes out $1.5 billion to manage, billions of dollars a year. They walk in, where's Hunter? He wants to know where's Hunter? We haven't found him. He's still looking for his laptop from hell. That's where he is. Where's my laptop? Hunter, you left it at a repair shop. You never picked it up, Hunter. And you know what they go? Russia did it. Russia. Ron, it's Russia. I know it's Russia. I saw Adam Schiff, watermelon head like this. I believe that Russia caused this problem.
Wow.
Russia. Yeah, here we go. Russia. We have a great head of DNI. He said, no, it had nothing to do with Russia. Put out a very strong statement. Nothing to do. If it does, we let it know. We let Russia know. But this is pure, disgusting, evil stuff that goes on. And your tech companies don't want to put it on. Even the New York Post, which had real courage, by the way.
Right.
They endorsed me 2 days ago.
They are the courageous ones.
But they had real courage. And they took down the New York Post site. Can you believe it? The New York Post, the oldest newspaper in the country, 4th largest in the country, they took down the site. Now, we got to get to the bottom of it, and we will. With guys like Kim, we will. When we win, Wisconsin wins. When we win, America wins. And
right.
That's what's happening. Under my leadership, we achieved the most secure border in U.S. history. We have now built over 400 miles of wall.
Yeah.
And we'll soon be finished. They don't talk about the wall anymore.
It'll be done any day now.
They used to kill me. I'd go through, we'd fight them, and we'd close up, and we'd do all sorts of things, and they would go after me. Once the wall started, and once they saw we had all that money lined up to get it done, and the impact it's had is incredible. It's not completed yet, but it will be very soon. And I built it exactly as Border Patrol and ICE wanted it.
Sure.
Exactly. I said, what about concrete plank? They said, sir, that's no good. Have to see through. Well, how about this? And
keeping an eye on the Biden rally.
That's what I like. They said, sir, we want steel. We then want concrete inside the steel, and then we'd like rebar. I said, can you think of a more expensive way, maybe? But we gave it, and then we want on top an anti-climb, the thing on top. I said, why are we doing that? That's very expensive. The piece of steel on top. It's 4 feet deep.
Can you guys do the math? Trump says they're building 10 miles a week, and he's been using the number 400 for months. Does that check out, or do I need to bring out a protractor?
And our numbers on the border are phenomenal, the best we've ever had. Joe Biden has pledged to open borders, mass amnesty, nationwide catch and release. You know what that is? That's when you catch a criminal, murderer, rapist. You let the criminal go. We argued about this during the debate. He said they all come back for trial. No, they don't come back, Joe. Only the ones I said with very low IQs come back. You have a trial in 2.5 years for murder. You have to come back. We released them, and I ended it. It's all ended. Okay?
Over.
That was easy? It's not easy doing this stuff. It looks easy, but it's not. Sanctuary cities from coast to coast. They want to have sanctuary cities all over the place. And free health care for illegal aliens, which will bankrupt your Medicare and your Social Security. You will not have Social Security if you do that, or Medicare. We all have a big heart. I do. I want to take care of everybody. Problem is you have millions of people pouring in from all over the world if you do this. As your president, I will protect your borders, I will protect your families, and I will always protect your Medicare and your Social Security. And I've always said it.
Right. Obvious
Biden
lie.
and Bernie Sanders, crazy Bernie, one of the greatest losers of all time, this guy. No, but I meant that in a nice way. He lost, and he went back to the Senate and voted radical left. Then he lost again. I mean, Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren, all she had to do is get out a couple of days early. He would have won every one of those states, but she decided not to do that. I don't think she likes Bernie, okay? But Biden will increase refugees. This was agreed with Bernie and the group, and AOC +3, right? Highly educated person on the environment, AOC. Have you ever taken a class on the environment? I don't think so.
Has Trump?
Increase refugees by
What a dumb thing to say.
700% from terror hotspots. So think of that, a 700. This was agreed to. I don't think Bernie was that bad. I think actually Bernie went further left after they made the deal. And I'm keeping radical Islamic terrorists the hell out of our country, okay? If it's okay with you. Look at what's gone on in France over the last 4 days. What's happened in France?
By the way, I love people in the middle of this rally asking me in the chat why they were timed out. Like, guy, I have no idea, dude. This is the entitlement and presumptiveness I was talking about yesterday.
Even more money for combat vehicle manufacturing in Oshkosh. You know, Marinette's doing a great job. I went to Marinette 4 or 5 months ago, looked at what they were doing, and we gave the contract to them, which cost me a lot of states, but that's okay. But we gave that to...
I'm only here for the mercy ban request, okay?
They were ready to close. Now, $6 billion contract, and it's going to be extended. They make the most beautiful ship. You have to see it. It looks like a super yacht, except it's got weapons all over it. You know, I would say paint it gleaming white and call it a yacht, but the weapons sort of throw you off a little bit. You got more guns and things than that. I've never seen anything like it. Anyway, but
you know, all of the positions on policy Trump has stated today, they're really making me think maybe he's got a great platform.
We need it. And also, it's all made in the USA. It's jobs. It's great. It's best stuff. And you know what? $2.5 trillion. We're the envy of the world. We're the envy of Russia and China. Nobody has the equipment that we have. Nobody.
Equipment.
Stealth fighter jets, F-35s. Can't see them. Tanks. We have tanks. We have submarines. We have everything. What we've done, and nuclear, we've upgraded our nuclear. We have new nuclear. And all you do is one thing, you pray that
we've got new nuclear.
Okay, that's the big thing. But having it and having it in tippy-top condition is the best way that we will never, ever have to use it. It's the best way. The last administration...
Where did that Biden event go?
VA policies resulted in deadly wait lists.
Hey, guys, in all seriousness, I was just on... This was just a Biden event. The Biden event is gone. What... Anybody know what the hell happened to it? This is bizarre. I'm going to look around for it.
Bad people that don't love our vets and take care of our vets, which you could not do under any circumstances. Civil service, unions, whatever. And now you can do it. Jim, you're not treating our vets right. Get the hell out of here. Get fired. Okay, go.
Here we go.
All right. And we took care
of
our vets instead of waiting for weeks sometimes to see a doctor. They go to a private doctor, we pay the bill, and it's actually it's probably less expensive. It's probably less expensive, but much more importantly, we take care of our vets. You had vets getting online by the time they saw the doctor, they became terminally ill. They actually had become terminally ill waiting for so long, so now they get out, immediately see a doctor.
Does it even matter what Trump says at this point?
We just got a 91% approval rating for the way we're running the VA, the vets, from the vets. We killed the leader of ISIS, al-Baghdadi. We took out the world's top terrorist. Soleimani is dead. #1 terrorist in the world. I withdrew from the last administration's disastrous Iran nuclear deal, $150 billion. For nothing. You know what they gave $150 billion? John Kerry, he's another genius. What a deal that was.
He's actually a pretty smart guy, even if you disagree with him politically.
Israel and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem.
Qasem Soleimani.
Presidents have been talking about doing that forever. Forever. Many, many presidents. They campaigned on it, and then they wouldn't do it.
That's not true.
I understand why. It was not easy to do. We had tremendous, tremendous pressure on us not to do it. But I did it. I just didn't take anybody's phone call, that's all. I also recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. They've been working on that for 52 years. I got it done in 2 hours. And instead of never-ending wars, we are forging peace all throughout the Middle East for no money and no blood all over the sand. No blood. Got countries lined up want to make a deal. They all want to come in after all these years. And the other side and everybody, they all said you could never do it this way. No. You could never do it the way they've wanted to do it.
These are just delusional rantings.
I've done more in 47 months than Joe Biden has done in 47 years. A vote for Republicans is a vote for the American dream. And remember, the Republican Party is the party of the late, great Abraham Lincoln, right?
Oh, not this again.
Gotta remember that. People forget that. Over the next 4 years, we will make America into the manufacturing superpower of the world, and we will end our reliance on China, which has already started. We will hire more police, increase penalties for assaults on law enforcement, and we will ban deadly sanctuary cities. They're dead. They're gone.
The city will kill
We will
you.
end the big tech monopoly and restore freedom of speech.
Who lost their freedom of speech?
We will defend the right to life, religious liberty, and the right to keep and bear arms. We will maintain America's unrivaled military might, and we will ensure peace through strength. We will end surprise medical billing, require price transparency, already signed, starts January 1st, will be bigger than healthcare.
Just got to reelect
Lower
them, guys.
drug prices even more, and they'll be down 50, 60, 70%, because I've invoked favored nations. The drug companies, Big Pharma they call it, does not like me too much. They have more ads than Sleepy Joe has against me. Every time you see one of those ads, remember, your drug they're just plummeting. Those prices
Your
are
drug
coming
plant.
and we will always
Your drug
protect
plant.
patients with pre-existing conditions, right? All right? America will land the first woman on the moon, and the United States will be the first nation to land an astronaut on Mars.
NARS.
We will stop the radical indoctrination of our students and restore patriotic education in our schools. And we will teach our children to love our country, honor our history, and always respect our great American flag. And we will live by the timeless words of our national motto, "In God we trust." For years, you had a president who apologized for America. Now you have a president who is standing up for America and standing up for the great people of Wisconsin. I am.
Right.
For some reason, I like you. You know why I like you? Because we had.
Because they
a-
cheer for every stupid thing you say.
And we kept waiting for Pennsylvania. It was obvious I was going to win, but the fake news didn't want to call it because that would have meant the end. And then out of the blue comes, Donald Trump has won the state of Wisconsin. I said, "Yeah." Right? Along with Ron, Donald Trump. I was a very pretty sound, and that was it. That was it. You know, you were the one. You got us over the top. You better do it again. So get your friends, get your family, get your neighbors.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Got to get out to vote on November 3rd or previous to November 3rd. Just get out to vote, whichever way you want to do it. Whatever way you want to do it, you got to get out to vote. This is a very serious. We're doing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. I appreciate it. On November 3rd, we must finish the job and drain the rest of the swamp. We've drained a lot of
The rest. It's fuller than ever.
From Madison to Milwaukee, from Janesville
Milwaukee.
to Kenosha, and from La Crosse to right here in Green Bay. I love Green Bay. But I love Kenosha, too, because we did a great job there. We showed them something, right? We showed them how to stop them. That was sort of easy, but I love Kenosha. We inherit the legacy of Wisconsin patriots who gave their blood, sweat, and tears for this beloved nation. We stand on the shoulders of American heroes who crossed the oceans, settled the continent, tamed the wilderness, laid down the railroads, raised up the great, great skyscrapers, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and made America into the single greatest nation in the history of the world. And the best is yet to come. It is. The best is yet.
Aside from being riddled with lies, it's also a really stupid and
Proud
childish
citizens
speech.
like you help build this country And together we are taking back our country. We are returning power to you, the American people. With your help, and we are doing that. Have you noticed? A lot of things are changing very fast in D.C. We need this final step. It's going to be something. But with your devotion and your drive, we are going to keep on working. We are going to keep on fighting, and we are going to keep on winning. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together with the incredible people of Wisconsin, we have made America powerful again. Our military is so powerful. We have made America wealthy again. Look at what's happening to our country.
Right.
We have made America strong again. We're doing it with our incredible law enforcement and everyone else. We have made America proud again.
How much hypothermia are we expecting at this rally when Trump leaves?
We have made America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you. Thank you, Wisconsin. Thank you, Green Bay. Get out and vote, please. Get out and vote. Most important election of your lifetime. Thank you, everybody, very much. Thank you.
There it is. And then presumably now we will see Donald Trump do a little bit of his dancing. Couldn't be better timing, as we are just moments from Joseph R. Biden Jr. at a different rally. Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar, and there is Trump, indistinguishable from parody, putting comedy writers everywhere out of work. That was a serious political speech. For people who joined us partway through, there it is. And we thought, and you thought this was a deep fake of some kind. This is the president of the United States. Donald Trump running slightly ahead of schedule. Well, maybe not. Scheduled to depart in the next 14 minutes from Green Bay, Wisconsin, to Rochester, Minnesota, where he is scheduled to speak in just about an hour and 20 minutes. Trump's scheduled to speak in an hour and 20 minutes at his third or maybe even fourth rally of the day. It's just rally after Corona rally. As we've examined, these rallies are not convincing anybody to vote for Trump. They're really preaching to a very stupid crowd willing to gather in large groups in the middle of a global 100-year pandemic. There's Mark Meadows with no mask. It looks like Kaylee McCatternany over here doing YMCA. I mean, these are people who deserve to never work again once this is all over. And hopefully that will be made a reality. So there's Donald Trump. We will check back in on that. We now have Amy Klobuchar speaking in her state of Minnesota. People are demanding the phone lines open. As I said, if people want phone lines open when Joe is done, help me by signing up at joinpacman.com. That is our primary and most steady source of revenue. Grab a membership at joinpacman.com. You can use the coupon code right above my head, 2020 now, all one word, all lowercase, for 66% off, if you can imagine. Certainly an immoral discount and even illegal in some places. I also wanted to fill out my map for you guys based on current polling. I had so many different things I wanted to do. Just real quick, if you follow me on Instagram, you would already have seen this. I do have a Spanish language show every weekend on Estrella, and I interviewed the great actor Jaime Camil. We recorded this yesterday. Of course, known for such appearances on such programs as Jane the Virgin and many, many, many others. He did, this is kind of funny, he did an Argentinian accent for me. You will, even if you don't speak Spanish, you will hear him in his native Mexican accent and then just doing me a solid, doing a fake Argentinian accent. It was a nice moment. Take a look at this.
Bueno, mira, el público, Jaime, quiere saber, ¿podrías hacer un acento argentino en algún rol? En un programa, imagínate que sos un, no sé, un periodista argentino en un programa de televisión.
Ya lo hice.
Lo hiciste, claro.
Sí, lo hice en Por ella soy Eva, bueno, Los tacones de Eva, la versión colombiana,
Sí.
en la mexicana se llamó Por ella soy Eva. Y cuando este tipo trata de enamorar no me acuerdo el nombre de Lucero, el nombre del personaje de Lucero, pero cuando trata de enamorarla, se inventa que es un argentino, re canchero, ¿viste? Que es re canchero. Le dice, Lucero, pero vení, confía en el amor que tengo por vos. Y me salía mucho mejor antes, pero todo el mundo me dice que mi argentino es porteño.
All right, so there it is. That full interview will air. You have to check your local listings. It's on the Estrella network, 46 cities, very, very heavily powerful in California, Texas, Florida, and Florida. It actually is it's in Florida and in Florida, a lot of affiliates there. And that'll be airing. That's Sunday at, where was Sunday? At 4 p.m. East, 1 p.m. West. Okay, so that is that. We just completed a Trump. Whoa! Now we've got ads. The Trump rally is over, and now we are waiting for a Biden rally with Amy Klobuchar here. Very, very exciting things going on, and I see people just continually asking about the phone lines. As I said, the phone lines will open when we get to our goal of members and Twitch subs. Right now, you can sign up at joinpacman.com. Let me update the Twitch subs number, 1087. So that's actually only 2. Okay, so both count. So we're actually at 31 now. Okay, we are at 31. And we had some actually great callers yesterday. I did a bad thing yesterday, actually. I opened the phone lines even though we didn't reach the goal. And it's a very controversial thing in the world of media from the standpoint of honesty, because if we set a goal and then we don't get it and I open the phone lines anyway, what am I really saying? You understand? So it's extremely risky to do that. I did it yesterday because we were so close and I started feeling guilty. But I think today we really will have to have a powerful showing and really make it there. The website, people still joke about when the website used to crash when like 10 people went to sign up. We have quadrupled the power of the website, and it has not crashed since, other than the Indian DDoS attack. And when I mean, literally, we got DDoSed by some Indian hackers during a stream. And when I say Indian hackers, these could have been American hackers routing their path through the country of India. That's certainly conceivable, but we had that issue. We resolved it. We did a lot of different things. So it's all happening very excitedly. Okay, as we wait for Joseph R. Biden Jr., let me look at a few super chats via YouTube, if you would be so interested. Christy says Minnesota rally is requiring that seating for Trump rally be set up for social distancing. So it should be interesting to see how he reacts. Yeah, I guess they were planning on having like 2,500 people, and then local guidelines said you can have 250 or something like that. But we'll keep an eye on that. Sally Sumter says, when did my drunk uncle become president? What a slur fest. Please vote this vile baby out of office. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have been seeing the early vote numbers, but as of right now, let me refresh. We now have had nearly 86 million votes cast, 30.5 million in person, 55 million mail-in ballots. In Texas, we've already seen, let me switch to percentage of turnout, 100.6% of 2016 turnout has already happened in Texas. In Hawaii, 104% of 2016 turnout has already happened. New Jersey, 80%. I wanted to see Delaware. Oh, Delaware's low, being Biden's home state. In any case, the numbers are truly, truly stunning. So we are continuing to watch those numbers. And again, it is early. We still don't know really what it means in terms of the election. We have to wait. Everybody has to vote. District level polling in Pennsylvania and Florida. Yeah, I know it's not good for Trump, but everybody has to vote. We don't want to suggest it's in the bag. Thanks to Howard Hall, we have now had 32 people sign up at joinpacman.com or on Twitch. Other super chats. Let me just scroll up. I'm just going to get random ones because so many have come in. Mind Hack says our emergency rooms are full, Green Bay. Yeah. Unknown says, oh no, I got that one already. Hold on. Do I think a lame duck Trump would continue to hold Rona rage rallies? I don't think so. I think the next 4 days are the end of Trump rallies. Now, if Trump wins and Don Jr. is the nominee in 2024, we will then have Trump rallies again, if you can imagine something more horrifying. Annabelle says good luck for next week from the United Kingdom. Thank you, Annabelle. Elliot says, David, thanks for the awesome content. Thin Philosophy says, do you think Trump wears small gloves to make his hands look larger? There's an idea. That's a possibility. Big thank you to Philip McCluskey, who's new member number 33 today at joinpacman.com. Also, we had, 1102. So that's 15. Another 15 via Twitch gets us to 48. See, the numbers do start adding up. They really do. Let's listen a little bit to Amy Klobuchar. It'll also give me an opportunity to set our audio level.
He will fight for you. This is it, Minnesota. This is it.
Yes.
And I want to say one last thing to everyone at home watching. If you are caught in the extremes of our politics,
right,
and you're looking for someone who's going to stand up for you, and you are tired of the noise and the nonsense, Joe knows you, and he will fight for you. So let us get out the vote these next days. Let us not let one political party stop the people of our state, Democrats, Republicans, and Independents, from coming together and electing a man of true grit, a man who loves this nation, a man who will get up every morning and think of you instead of him, and that is Joe Biden. Thank you, Minnesota. Let's go and win.
Powerful speech from Senator Amy Klobuchar. Wow. Explosive speech. And there she goes. I believe we will have someone come up and fully Wait, hold on. Where's Joe Biden? What the heck? I imagine someone would just come up and sanitize the microphone and then we'd hear from Joe Biden. That was weird. Okay, well, we'll wait and see what's going on. Big thank you to Tracy Steyer, new member number 49 at joinpacman.com. Cody Camacho is number 50. And Malta Gruner is number 51. Very much appreciate that. We will open phone lines if we achieve our goal. I don't really understand what just happened. I don't know why the signal cut. What other ones do we have? This is Trump. Okay, this is the live feed. It looks like they're just doing a mic check and a little microphone sanitation for Joseph R. Biden Jr. And then we should be hearing from him very, very soon. Maria says, David, do you think we should have let the small scandals pass to not push Republicans into a corner? It's not about letting scandals pass. It's that after 6 hours, there's a new scandal. So it's more complex than that. Eric says, hi, David, just voted in person, Glendale, Arizona. Let's go Biden. Enrique says, may the flying spaghetti monster bless America. Ramen. Yes, very, very much. What else do we have here? Kirsty likes watching me laugh hysterically at Trump's word vomit during the rallies. Yeah, it's sort of funny, but it's also really, really scary because it is the president after all. And the fact that he can't even be remotely coherent for a minute is not a good sign for the country. Not a good sign for the country. We are waiting for Joe Biden in St. Paul, Minnesota. As we speak, Donald Trump is en route from Green Bay, Wisconsin to Rochester, Minnesota. And as you can see, we appear to be just moments from Joe Biden's speech. And I expect better weather than last night. Last night's speech cut short for Joe Biden by torrential rain. And looks like a bright and sunny day in St. Paul, Minnesota, as we await Joe Biden. The crowd is in cars. It is a drive-in rally, drive-in, socially distanced, safe rally. as they say these days. Trump continuing to ridicule Joe Biden for taking the virus seriously. Of course, you know, when you see this, you realize it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. And then you say, oh, wait a second, maybe it does make sense to take this seriously. I wanted to play the Jesse Lee Peters. I just don't know if we have time. I'm worried if I get away from this, Biden will start speaking. I'll just stay here. I also wanted to play for you this clip from the John Ossoff David Perdue debate. I believe it's a murder. I believe when I watched it, I witnessed a murder. It's like nothing I have seen before. I want to play that for you, but we'll get to all of those things in a little bit. Thanks to Allison Ramsey, who's new member number 52 today, and Joelle Nordstrom, who is new member number 53. Then when we add in our Twitch subscribers, there are 3 more, which puts us at 56. Do you guys like doing a higher goal, but including Twitch subs in it? What do you think? Do people on Twitch like it? And do people on YouTube like it? Do the YouTube people? Oh, hold on a second. We have some anti-Semitism in the YouTube chat. That is an insta ban and gone. Man, a lot of ban hammers are being dropped. It's really incredible. Really incredible. People seem to want, they prefer the inclusion of Twitch. I think that's right. I don't know who this is, but there have been so many speakers before Joe Biden. It's like, let's bring Biden out at this point, you know? Let's listen, see what's going on.
With you today. My name is Jessica Intermill, and I am a Minnesotan with a pre-existing condition. We have all heard all year how this is the most consequential election.
Okay, so we're still waiting for Joe Biden. We're not, I mean, it's like with 5 rallies a day, we can't do every speaker at every rally. So we're going to stand by. I want to hear from you guys. Johnny Minogue says via Super Chat, even with your awesome commentary, I can't stomach the Trumpy horror rally shows for very long anymore. Voting in person Tuesday, yes on question 2. Teresa says, I'm never going to like hearing YMCA again. Yabbit says, my David Pacman membership with a misspelled Pacman has really helped get my dad and my family through this. Thank you. No, Yabbits, thank you. Thank you. Jackson Janney asks if I will be streaming Tuesday. I will. I will be streaming Tuesday. And I'm getting very conflicting opinions from people about is my Tuesday stream going to be crazy or is the Tuesday stream going to be a dud? Because there's just so many people who are going to be streaming. I don't know. I'm just going to do it. You know, it's like it's a pandemic. I would just otherwise be home watching TV. So I will stream. I did go and look at our numbers from 2016. We peaked. Listen to this. We peaked at 1,500 or 1,600 live viewers total across all platforms in the 2016 election night stream, 1,500 or 1,600. I think we will do better than that by a factor of many, but I have no expectations for how the Tuesday stream will go. What I care about is what are the results? What are the results going to be on Tuesday? But yeah, I look forward to seeing at least some of you here. Big thank you to Hector Reyes, who is new member number 57 today, and Chris Druda, who is new member number 58, adding in an additional 6 Twitch subscribers puts us at 64. We may actually get those phone lines open today. Very, very interesting. Okay, other super chats coming in. Johnny, oh no, we already got Johnny. And then Chippity Chuck, retracted, issued a powerful retraction message. Serge says from Canada, we really hope Biden wins. It's not just you guys. A lot of people here hoping for a Biden win as well. Let's see what messages are coming in via Twitch subs. Slingblade says, thanks for all you do. I appreciate that. And an unconscionable amount of subscriptions donated by Spudnik19. Spudnik19, thanks to today's donations, has entered the top 3 sub-donors of all time. I'm Inconsolable, David Chadman at number 2, and Spudnik. Okay, how about this? I will do the Jesse Lee Peterson thing, but let me know in the chat if Biden shows up. Monitor the Biden. Can you guys agree to do that? Monitor the Biden stream so that if Biden starts speaking, I can get back over and then I'll go over to the Jesse Lee Peterson stuff. Is that fair? Nobody will do it. Okay, that's too bad. Dear God. Okay, no, people are doing it. Okay, so here's the deal with the Jesse Lee Peterson stuff. Jesse Lee Peterson is a known homophobe who has been saying for a long time, homosexuality is bad, it's evil, all this different stuff. Jesse Lee Peterson was caught, and I hate to use the term caught because there's nothing wrong with being gay. The problem is when you have a life of attacking people for being gay, and you might be gay yourself. He, I guess, accidentally liked gay porn on his Twitter. And then it came up during his show, and his explanation is inconceivable, and it expresses no understanding of how Twitter works. This is Jesse's explanation. Take a look at this.
So, like, I'm not like an expert with social media at all.
Yeah.
Whenever I use it, I'm like just really 1, 2, 3, those simple things.
Right.
But over the years, I've had friends of mine who would tell me social media is mean. They put nasty things on your YouTube channel. And so I had a friend tell me once, I won't mention his name, but he's a real popular social media person. We were at a conference once, and he was telling me that, and he was like, tick. And I had never seen him be tick. I was like, what the? I had just started out for the most part. Not just started out, but he was saying that these radical homosexuals.
Okay, we're going to get back over to Biden, who is speaking. Here we go.
And forced to think not only about facing the battle, but about how they can afford the treatment. While insurance companies come and in at the most vulnerable moments for you and your family members. I remember when my son, Bo, was lying in the hospital after he came home from Iraq after a year. He had stage 4 glioblastoma. They told him not whether he was going to live, but just how long would he live. As he lay there fighting for his life, fighting to hang on, I thought to myself, what would it be like if in his suffering, my insurance company or his insurance company is able to come in and say, you've run out of coverage. Time's up. You're on your own. Well, folks, it's a question no one should have to face in America. That's why I fought so hard and why Obamacare was such a big thing. It's unconscionable. It's unconscionable that Donald Trump, from the day he got elected till right now, he's fighting in court to rip that peace of mind away from tens of millions of Americans. But we're not going to let him do it. We're never going back to those days. And you're going to vote. We're going to win for you, Jessica, and your family. And I promise you, I will protect your family as if it were my own. I want to thank all the speakers you heard earlier. Your governor, Tim, is great, who's leading Minnesota with decency and integrity. And one of the outstanding members of Congress, Betty McCollum, let's send her back to the House of Representatives. We need her badly. And your incredible junior senator, Tina Smith, who I got to speak a little bit back here, she's got to go back. And look, let's win back the Minnesota State Senate while we're at it. One of the nation's finest leaders and a dear friend I've been honored to stand alongside and fight together for the soul of this nation for a long time, Senator Amy Klobuchar. Amy, I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Yesterday in Florida, I had a chance to spend a little more time with another Minnesota icon, Karl Anthony Towns. You all heard of him. Boy, he can play, man. You all know him as the heart and soul of the Timberwolves, but he's also a son who, like many other Americans, lost his mom to COVID-19 a couple months ago. For all those sons and daughters, those parents, siblings, husbands and wives facing empty chairs and dining room tables, have empty holes in their hearts, all those who reach over at night, implicit, just by instinct, to say goodnight to their husband or wife. They deserve so much better. These guys are not very polite, but they're like Trump. But look, they're going to be okay. We're going to take care of them as well. We need to come together. We need to fight for all these folks. We have 4 days left to get it done. 4 days. And millions of Americans are already voting. Millions more will vote by Tuesday. And I believe when you use your power, the power to vote will change the course of this country and the course of history. Right here in Minnesota with all of you, in the final days, keep that sense of empowerment. Keep that sort of empowerment with you, that sense of optimism, and what we can overcome. Now look, there's a reason they don't want to hear me, because they know the president doesn't say anything. So they're not used to not hearing anything. But I know it's hard, folks. I know it's hard. More than 228, I believe it is now, 1,000 Americans have died because of COVID-19.
More than that.
Nearly 2,500 here in Minnesota gone. We had 9 million new cases nationwide. Millions of Americans are out of work, on the edge. They can't see any light. They don't know where it's going. And Donald Trump, he's simply given up. Over the weekend, White House counsel, chief of staff, he said the following: we're not going to control the pandemic. At the debate last week, Donald Trump turned to me and said, we're rounding the corner. It's going away. We're learning to live with it. But as I told him, no, he's asking us to learn to die with it. We're not going to. And did you hear what he said today? What he said today on the trail? He said that our doctors, our first responders, over 1,000 lost their lives, are putting their lives in the...
This isn't great. I'm not going to lie. In total, with the constant honking in the background, the rhythmic honking.
Because they get more money. The President of the United States...
That may even be a car alarm, not a honk. I don't even know what that is.
...of making up COVID deaths so they make more money. Doctors and nurses go to work every day to save lives. They do their jobs. Donald Trump should stop attacking them and do his job. Folks, this is the same man who weeks ago when he was told we're losing 1,000 lives a day, you remember what he said? He said, it is what it is. That's thoughtful. Well, it is what it is because he is who he is. Donald Trump has waved the white flag and surrendered to this virus. But the American people don't give up. They don't cower. Neither will I. Remember when he did that interview, he told Bob Woodward that he knew about the virus and how deadly it was at the end of January. But he didn't tell anybody. He didn't even tell those folks. He didn't tell anybody. And Woodward asked him why. And on tape he said because he didn't want to panic the American people. The American people don't panic. Donald Trump panics. And unlike Donald Trump, we will not surrender to this virus. Look, President Trump is spreading division and discord. He thinks that he can divide us. We won't notice his failures.
Thanks for the raid, Book Smarts, on Twitch.
That's why he shamelessly equates Somali refugees, folks seeking a better life in America, contributing to this state and our country, with terrorists, as he did last night. We need a president who'll bring us together, not pull us apart. I'll deal with this pandemic responsibly, bringing the country together around testing, tracing, masking. It's estimated by the leading doctors in this country that if we just wore a mask for the next few months,
this guy's killing it, by the way.
100,000 lives of over 200,000 lives they expect to lose. Dr. Fauci, call for a mask mandate last week. This isn't a political statement like those ugly folks over there beeping the horns. This is a patriotic duty, for God's sake. Look, in his own words, as I said, the president knew back in January how extremely dangerous and communicable this disease was. And I told you, he went on and he made that tape. He said the disease was easily able to spread. But he did nothing. He did nothing at all. Look, folks, American people are tough. And instead of talking and politicizing the vaccine, he should be planning for a safe, equitable, and free distribution of a vaccine when it comes next year. This guy refused to provide schools and small businesses the resources and the national standards to open safely.
What a mess.
The House of Representatives already passed the money to allow schools to open safely, businesses open safely, to make sure people are paid. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll bring Republicans and Democrats together to deliver economic relief for working families, schools, and businesses.
This is really insane, guys. Like, Trump did an hour where it's just free word association about things that have no connection to reality. Biden is sort of like yelling, and there's horns just persistently going off rhythmically. It's just a mess. It's a mess. There's no doubt about who we have to vote for, but what a mess.
But we can build back, and we can build back better with an economy that rewards work, not wealth. We can do it without raising taxes on the middle class and working families. I promise you, you have my word, if you make less than $400,000 a year, you won't pay a penny more in taxes. But I tell you what, for the first time in a long time, the wealthiest and biggest corporations are going to start paying their fair share. 91 out of the Fortune 500 companies paid zero in taxes last year. Why? Why should a firefighter, an educator...
It sounds like Rhythmic Horn Guy has been moved further away. Like, I can still hear it, but it's quieter.
...pay higher tax rates than the super wealthy? Why should you pay more taxes than Donald Trump pays? He's exploited every loophole in tax code. He's run a shell game to avoid paying taxes. If you notice, I've released 22 years of my tax returns. He's not released one single year. What's he hiding? Where's the corruption? According to Trump, the reason why I only paid $750 is because he's smart. Well, what does that make the rest of us to pay our fair share, Mr. President? We're going to deliver tax relief for working families in the middle class, help you buy your first home, pay for health care premiums, or child care, or care for your aging parents, or be able to actually pay for school. Trump got a Supreme Court justice. First time it's ever happened while elections already started. For one reason, he's determined to do what he's been trying to do for 4 years, destroy the Affordable Care Act. If they get their way, 100 million Americans will lose protections for pre-existing conditions. Complications from COVID-19 will be the next pre-existing.
Hey, so how are people in both YouTube and Twitch chat, and how are you aware that the guy honking is a Trumpist? Is there like a Twitter account, or how do we know?
For the same health care as a man just because they're a woman. Donald Trump thinks health care is a privilege. I think it's your right. And if we all get out and vote, we'll not only restore Obamacare, we'll strengthen it and build on it. So you can keep your private insurance if that's what you like.
Biden called him out. Yeah, I thought people were saying the actual protester said something.
Lower your premiums and deductibles, out-of-pocket spending, reduce prescription costs.
Yeah, also, who would do that?
60% by allowing
who else would act like that? Fair, very fair.
Drug prices. We're going to keep the protections for people with pre-existing conditions, and we'll protect Social Security and Medicare. Meanwhile, the Social Security actuary said that if Donald Trump said, elect me again and I'm going to change Social Security, the actuary said if the changes he puts in place occur, that Social Security will be bankrupt in 2023. So go home and tell your parents and grandparents.
This is like
Guess
sort
what
of not
Trump's
that
about to
great.
do?
I'm kind of worried
I'll
about
protect Social Security,
the energy
Medicare
here.
and Medicaid. But folks, nothing's worse that this president has done than the way he spoke about those who served in uniform. He called them losers and suckers. My son, Beau, gave up the Attorney General's seat in the state of Delaware to volunteer to go to Iraq for a year. He won the Bronze Star, the Conspicuous Service Medal. He wasn't a loser or a sucker. He was a patriot. So many of you as well. No wonder the 6 generals who worked directly for the Trump administration have left, and they say he does not deserve to be the commander-in-chief of the United States.
Right.
That's never happened to any president before. And that's why Special Operations Commander General Stanley McChrystal, Navy SEAL Commander Admiral McCraven, along with 24 stars, endorsed me, saying they support me to be the next commander-in-chief because they trust me. And that's why the Military Times reported the more troops will vote for Biden than Trump. That's why we have to support the military. They're the backbone of the country. So let them vote, and let's vote for them. And while Donald Trump fails to condemn white supremacy, we can deliver on racial justice. The season of protest has broken out across the nation because the life and dignity of George Floyd, senselessly killed 7 miles from here, and so many others that mattered.
Man, a lot of people are getting banned today. What is with it?
It's not protesting. It's violence, clear and simple, and will not be tolerated. But these protests are a cry for justice. The names of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Jacob Blake will not soon be forgotten, not by me, not by us, not by this country, because true justice is also economic justice. Access to schooling, housing, access to capital, good-paying jobs and financial stability, giving families of color a real shot to own a home, start a small business, send a child to college debt-free so they can build wealth and pass down opportunity through the generations like the rest of us have. We have to vote to ensure the full promise of this country for everyone. And finally, we have to vote to meet the challenge of the climate crisis. The West is on fire, losing more forest than the total land of Connecticut and Rhode Island combined. The Midwest is flooding. Here in Minnesota, extreme weather incurs big costs for your infrastructure. Increased flooding in the Mississippi watershed has shut down port facilities here and in St. Paul. Donald Trump thinks it's all a hoax. He sure is a stable genius. He says the wind power causes cancer. I say it creates jobs, Minnesota jobs. We can combat climate change with American ingenuity and manufacturing, building a more resilient nation, creating millions of new high-paying jobs. We can change the path we're on. Nothing's beyond our capacity. So honk your horn if you want America to lead again. Honk your horn if you want Americans to trust each other again. Honk your horn if you want to have civility again.
This is the worst year, isn't it?
And honk your horn if you want America to be united again. We cannot afford 4 more years of Donald Trump. In 2008 and 12, you placed your trust in me and Barack Obama, and each day we were in office, we worked for you and the entire community. I'll do it again in 2020. My campaign is a broad coalition of Democrats, Republicans, Independents, Republican office holders, I'm running as a proud Democrat, but I will govern as an American president. I'll work as hard for those who don't support me as those who do, because that's the job of a president. It's the duty of care for everyone. And you, too, have a sacred duty, the duty to vote. It matters. Minnesota matters. So in the final days, stay empowered, stay optimistic, stay united. Make a plan to vote. Help get out the vote. As Amy said, go to
Completely chaotic event. Yeah.
Yesterday, the federal appeals court forced a last-minute change in the rules. Absentee ballots have to be received by Tuesday. So if you want your voice to be heard, drop off your ballot. Don't put it in the mail or vote safely in person any day up through Election Day. But you've got to get it done and make sure everyone you know votes as well. So they'll not be able to stop us. Despite Trump's efforts, recent press article points out that, quote, never before in modern presidential politics, I'm quoting now, never before in modern presidential politics has a candidate been so reliant on wide-scale efforts to repress the votes as Trump, end of quote. We will not be silenced. Over 85 million people have already voted, 85 million. They've had enough. Look, I'll never forget the words President Kennedy said when he promised to send us to the moon. He said we're doing it because we in America, we refuse to postpone. I refuse to postpone the work America must do. There's nothing beyond our capacity. There's no limit to America, including guys like that. The only thing that can tear America apart is America itself. And that's exactly what Donald Trump has been doing from the beginning. Divide America, pitting Americans against one another, based on race.
Now the audio is cutting out.
That's wrong. That's not who we are. Everybody knows who Donald Trump is. Let's keep showing them who we are. We choose hope over fear. We choose unity over division, science over fiction. And yes, we choose truth over lies. So it's time to stand up, take back our democracy. We can do this. We're so much better than this. We can be who we are at our best, the United States of America. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Wow.
Thank you.
Is anybody else exhausted? What is going on now? Joe Biden. Oh, his mask. Okay, putting on his mask. Good. There goes Joe Biden. My God, completely chaotic event. And I mean, he's fine. You know, he's saying all things that are good, but just the energy, the honking, the screaming. I don't know that if I were Biden, I would be doing the screaming. I think he's screaming in order to sort of seem higher energy. I mean, it's just, this is an insane situation in which we find ourselves. And obviously, we must remove Donald Trump and elect Joe Biden. It's not about Biden having the wrong policies. He has a lot of the right policies. But this is just crazy. Crazy. And we now have the next Trump rally is only 42 minutes from now. So things just getting wild. I am exhausted from that. But I want to hear from some of you. I may take some phone calls. As I said, we have a goal of 125. We're at 77. Twitch memberships, Twitch subs count. And really, we keep the highest share of every contribution when you sign up at joinpacman.com. So head on over to my website, grab a membership. In all seriousness, if you like the work that we do, if you appreciate the clips, the streams, all of these different things, it's really, really cheap. We're talking $2 a month, okay? Joinpacman.com. Use the coupon code above my head 2020 now. or sign up on Twitch. And if we get to 125, we will open up these phone lines. Pseudo Spike said via Twitch, I'm supposed to be in my born-again pro-Trump stepbrother's wedding in 4 weeks in Jersey. There will be very few masks should I still go. Listen, you have to figure out what level of risk is right for you. I assume in a month in New Jersey, it obviously has to be indoors. I would not go, but it's up to you. You know, you have to figure out what makes sense for you. Robbery says website member and Twitch sub. I appreciate that. And then Lori says 11-month subscription. Glad to be part of your team. Glad to have you. Okay, so let me get back to the Jesse Lee Peterson thing. Okay, so we're in the middle of Jesse Lee explaining how someone liked gay porn on his Twitter account, which of course is not believable at all. It's just all completely unbelievable.
Sexual putting nasty sex stuff on his computers, on his social media thing. And he wanted to know why. Why were they doing that?
Why?
And he would find himself clicking on it, not realizing that how he was seeing it or something like that. But he would say, but so apparently, according to my social media people, they're doing it to me too. These nasty homosexuals are putting their nasty, gross sex stuff onto your social media. And
what Jesse doesn't understand is, if you look at someone's likes, nobody can put anything on there. It's like if your account got hacked, okay, say your account got hacked, but it's not like your Facebook wall where anybody can just put gay porn. I mean, it's just, if Jesse Lee Peterson is gay, I would like him to just say, you know what? All of my homophobia for all these years was disgusting. And I did it because I was scared to just say who I was. Like, you know what I'm saying? Instead of doing this routine.
Set it up to look like you're just looking at something else, or they make comments. And if you don't know what you're doing,
right,
apparently you will find yourself looking at it. I often wonder, how come whenever there's evil,
right,
that you always can find the radical, nasty homosexuals involved in it?
So he's still even, I guess now he's implying that radical homosexuals put gay porn on his Twitter, but it's like, it was just a like. He liked it. It's not a Facebook wall.
To be involved in hell. And so be careful with if you don't know, and I'm from the old school, so I don't know who did this, but
right, could be anybody.
If you don't know social media, you better hire someone to do it for
could
you.
Be Jesse.
All right. So explain to the people what happened, Chris.
Oh, this I haven't seen. I guess he asked someone else to explain.
Chris is my social media guy.
There was
so that they won't click on this stuff or a lot of times they don't even know what
this should
doing.
Be good.
Yeah, there was pornography on Twitter. Like Twitter allows pornography on their website.
Yeah, Twitter allows the porn.
I know. I counsel so many men and women who are addicted to that stuff because they
right.
can just see it anytime.
Other people,
even young people.
Yeah,
why don't they ban that stuff from social media?
Yeah, it seems to be younger and younger people are accessing it.
Yeah.
Right. It's not 72-year-old Jesse Lee who liked it. It was like a kid.
Yeah, and so there was pornography in your likes on Twitter. And so I was unaware of it, and then somebody sent it, and they people started spamming all your comments.
So actually, it's plausible that Jesse Lee doesn't even use his Twitter, and it was actually this guy who was looking at the gay porn. Like, that's also, I have to say, I hadn't seen this before. That's also a possibility.
It's sending pictures of that, posting it all over your posts on Twitter, and that type of stuff, accusing you of being a homosexual.
How can people avoid that? Looking at, is there something that they can do to avoid it?
I guess Jesse thinks they need counseling. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you can preemptively block stuff from your social medias. I think you can maybe turn on a filter.
That's what Jesse was doing. He was going to all of the gay porn Twitters, which, by the way, I've never even accidentally come across porn on Twitter. But I guess the way to do it, Jesse, would be you go to each gay porn account, and after checking it out, you block it.
That doesn't allow you to see certain content.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can block people on Twitter.
I guess he would need a list of people to block
on social media platforms.
Why do the nasty, dirty homosexuals and the sluts who are into that stuff, why do they impose that stuff on you? Because they know it's wrong, they know it's dirty, they know it's evil.
Right.
What is the purpose? Because I was talking to a young person in counseling and they were saying that they became addicted to porn because it's on their phone, it just pops up when they don't intend for it to, you know. Right. How can people avoid this stuff if social media owner don't block it like they do conservatives?
Yeah,
there should be some warning or something.
Yeah, I mean, pornography.
This guy has no idea what to say.
At large, I mean, it's becoming more and more mainstream, which is unfortunate. It's just, you know, society at large is becoming ever more demoralized.
Imagine like trying to get off the topic of the fact that gay porn was in your likes, and they make it a moral question about society. It's like it's about you. It's one of these two guys. You understand?
As the day goes on.
Yeah.
And there's an attempt to really normalize.
Understand that right as these two guys are talking, one of these two people, I guess, because this is the social media guy and it's Jesse's account, one of these two people was looking at gay porn on Twitter and liked it. Okay? And they've now been going on for, 5 minutes and making it a societal issue.
As like overtly sexual things, you know, television, films, you know, those are very sexualized.
The unfortunate thing that when these young people run up on this stuff on their phones and all that, and they get into it, it destroys them.
Right.
It really destroys them. And I'm wondering, maybe parents shouldn't allow their children to have phones and all that and let them buy when they become
right. But in
adults.
this case, it's two adults, so it's not an issue of children.
Maybe they won't be so traumatized.
They should be doing that. Unfortunately, I mean, it really is.
My PR guy said report it to Twitter.
Yeah, you can report things to Twitter
right.
if people.
But these guys, they don't seem to understand. If you're going to report something, you would have to argue you got hacked. Someone went in, someone accessed your account. They got your password, and then they went in and all they did was like one gay porn tweet. Report what to Twitter?
Or like really like attacking you.
It's pure evil, folks, but fret not.
Right.
So my PR guy said, yeah, you can report it to Twitter and also delete it. But fret not.
Delete it. No, you also can't delete it. It's not your post. You liked a post. You could unlike the post and then it wouldn't show. Okay, anyway, we got to get off of this because this is just completely toxic. I can't even understand what it is that's going on. Where is the upcoming, where was that upcoming Trump event? Joe Biden, Trump holds a rally, Biden holds a rally. Oh, it's this one. Okay, let me start closing out some of these others. Really, really wacky. It's total and complete cringe. It's really insane. Okay, Mike Roddick says, how does Brian Tyler Cohen get Kamala Harris for an interview while you interview the likes of Jesse Lee Peterson? Okay, so a couple different things. It's not a really fair comparison as far as Biden people. You know, we did interview like Biden campaign co-chairs, like the LA mayor, Eric Garcetti, Congressman Ruben Gallegos. But what you have to understand is I'm not even a Democrat and I'm certainly not an insider. I don't have any contacts at the Democratic Party. Brian Tyler Cohen actually is a DNC, sort of a friend of the DNC. So that's why. And it has nothing to do with subscribers. Pookie says, remember when people used to think Pac-Man was gay? I was featured in a documentary about bullied gay teens who had committed suicide. I was actually featured in it. And I was not a teenager. I was alive and I wasn't gay. It was weird to be included. Big thank you to Elizaveta Taranova, who's new member number 78 today. Andrew Laidlaw is number 79. Andrew Eade is 80. Trudy Roth is number 81, and Gabrielle Fox is new member number 82. We're also counting Twitch subs, and we have an additional 5 of those, which gets us to 87. 87. I made a pledge to open the phones if we get to 125 total today, but I really am not going to do it unless we get there, because otherwise, it starts to get a little crazy. The Price of Dreams says, David, I just did a photo shoot where most of the shots were taken naked. Am I destroying younglings? How can I become evil? You were naked, or the people you were filming were? That sounds weird. Joel says, would Joe bite on expanding the court if it was fair, like justice is chosen by groups of 5 to 10 senators? Is it a good strategy to dilute 6 to 3? I have a clip about expanding the court. Everything I have to say about it is in that clip. And then Skate Alex says, Jamie Harris and Lindsey Graham debate is at 7 p.m. Okay, check this out. I believe that this is video of a murder. Check this out. This is John Ossoff, the Democratic candidate for Georgia Senate, in a debate against Senator David Perdue. I have never seen anything like this. Okay, take a look at this.
Perhaps Senator Perdue would have been able to respond properly to the COVID-19 pandemic if you hadn't been fending off multiple federal investigations for insider trading. It's not just that you're a crook, Senator. It's that you're attacking the health of the people that you represent. You did say COVID-19 was no deadlier than the flu.
Wow.
You did say there would be no significant uptick in cases. All the while, you were looking after your own assets and your own portfolio, and you did vote 4 times to end protections for pre-existing conditions. 4 times. And the legislation that you tout, the PROTECT Act, it includes loopholes that specifically allow insurance companies to deny policies to Georgians with pre-existing conditions. Can you look down the camera and tell the people of this state why you voted 4 times to allow insurance companies to deny us health coverage because we may suffer from diabetes or heart disease or asthma or have cancer in remission? Why, Senator?
It is, I have never seen anything that brutal. It is really just unbelievable. I mean, it's shocking what happened. And case in point, David Perdue canceled the next debate and said, we've debated enough. We are not doing any more debates, and actually bailed on it altogether, which is really, really just completely bonkers. Okay. All right. I think so. We've got things are dropping off from the standpoint of audience. So what we're going to do is this stream is going to end here. I'm going to get a couple things done and reset, and I may be back for the next Trump rally scheduled for a half hour from now, really probably starting in more like an hour. And I am going to be raiding over on Twitch. Who should we raid? I don't even know. Maybe we will raid of the people I'm following. Nobody else is really. Oh, let's raid. Oh, you know who we're gonna raid? Alexandra Botez, actually, because she, she's been a friend of the show. So we're gonna do that over on Twitch. We are going to be raiding there. Do I need to hit start raid right away, or how do we do this? I don't know. Or do I just do it? Do I just click it now, or do I have to wait for people to get involved? I don't even know. I guess I'm going to hit start raid. And, oh, I see. Here we go. Okay. So then I do start raid, and then we do raid now. Okay, guys. So thanks to everybody. And we are going to be back strongly, powerfully, extremely soon. Thank you so much.
Always bad. Why would you want me to lie to you? Bad. Why would you want me to lie to you? Like, if I'm playing badly, I would want to know the truth. You always play badly.